Prime Minister Andrew Holness in Parliament yesterday making supposedly to be a formal apology for what happened to Rastafari in 1963, talking about the Coral Gardens incident.
Mr. Speaker, in my budget presentation on the 21st of March 2017, I committed to making an apology for what has come to be referred to as the Coral Gardens, one which occurred at a time in our history when our society was more reflective of the colonial era. Mr. Speaker, the violence flared up at Coral Gardens, leading to the death of civilians and security officers, significant personal injuries, and destruction of property. This has been a source of pain, of great pain and hurt for the Rastafarian community, and generated bitterness and resentment over the years. Mr. Speaker, the incident stands out as an example of the use of violence by the state against its citizens. This month would mark the 54th anniversary of this incident. In fact, April 11th would be the 54th anniversary. Mr. Speaker, though this has happened some time ago, more than half a century ago, if we are to truly change our society from being a violent society, then we must, Mr. Speaker, take ownership of the wrongs of the past and make genuine attempts at correcting them. We cannot restore life. We may not be able to restore property that was destroyed, and we certainly may not be able to heal those who suffered. But it is important that the state acknowledges when a wrong was done and commit sincerely and solemnly not to allow these wrongs to happen again. Today I am honoring the commitment to tender an apology. Mr. Speaker, the public defender has published a report on the tragic events that took place between Thursday, April 11th and Friday, April 12th, 1963 at Coral Gardens, a farming community 10 miles east of Montego Bay. The public defender's report provides an official account and analysis of the Coral Gardens incident. We wish to acknowledge and recognize the report as an important first step in our national effort to reflect on, in a very focused way, an unfortunate chapter in our history. Mr. Speaker, the Cabinet, subsequent on the report, appointed a subcommittee to review the report and guide us as to what we should accept from the recommendations in the report. I would like, Mr. Speaker, to thank the public defender in doing the report, and I would also like to thank the members of the Committee of Parliament, of Cabinet rather, that reviewed the report. The committee was chaired by the Honourable Derek Smith, the Honourable Babsy Grange, Honourable Mike Henry, the Honourable Dr. Horace Chang, the Honourable Delroy Chuck, Honourable Favour Williams, and the Attorney General, Marlene Malahoo Ford, were all members of the committee that reviewed the report. Mr. Speaker, today's statement marks a milestone in Jamaica's history and development. As proud Jamaicans, we value and honor our present-day constitutional democracy, built on our rich and, in many instances, painful heritage of struggle and suffering. However, notwithstanding the inhumane treatment and repression, there were and continue to be narratives of resilience, many still untold, of great achievements and victories for those who endured. We have been able to draw on these experiences to hone an unbridled creative imagination that has presented to the world unique and innovative sounds, images, icons, and a way of life that have brought us recognition and pride. Pain, born of the past, however, still resides in the hearts of many. Fellow Jamaicans, the Coral Gardens incident was a grave injustice. The government acknowledges that the machinery of the Jamaican state evolved out of an era when it was considered appropriate to utilize the heavy hand of the state against citizens. Today, without equivocation, we apologize for what occurred in Coral Gardens. We express our regret and sorrow for this chapter in our national life that was characterized by brutality, injustice, and repression, which was wrong and should never be repeated. In expressing our regret as a people and as a community, we have taken a symbolic yet courageous and pivotal move, which means that we can face the future with renewed hope, with increased resolve, and with a true spirit of reconciliation. In keeping with our Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms, which amended our Constitution in 2011, the government of Jamaica assures this great nation that we will continue to strive to ensure that unjust incidents and discriminatory actions such as occurred at Coral Gardens are never allowed to happen again. Whilst I know that this cannot erase the brutality, oppression, and injustice which was meted out during the tragedy, I am comforted by the willingness of the members of the Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society to keep the dialogue going. I am happy to have finally reached the point where we can discuss concrete and tangible actions which can ease some of the heavy burdens that survivors and the community have faced. The actions agreed include the following. 1. The public defender is to be asked to continue the work that our office began in terms of locating survivors and gathering important background social information about them and their families, in consultation with the Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society and the Member of Parliament for the area. The office will utilize the list of survivors provided by the Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society as the base for continuing the work. The Coral Gardens Benevolent Society will be given advice and assisted in accessing resources and benefits for its members that are already available through a number of avenues. 3. A trust fund of no less than $10 million will be established for the benefit of survivors of the Coral Gardens incident, and in this regard, I will work alongside the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service and all relevant stakeholders to ensure that the fund is set up properly and with due regards for the needs of those it is meant to benefit. And 4, in keeping with the principle of cultural preservation, 6 lots at the property at Pinnacle in St. Catherine will be declared by the Jamaica National Heritage Trust as protected heritage sites and will be developed as a Rastafari village and cultural center. Once again, Mr. Speaker, I wish to thank the members of the Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society and all who worked in putting together the report and preparing the apology and coming to this point where I can stand in front of the Parliament facing the people of Jamaica to make a solemn and sincere apology for the wrongs of the past to the people of our country. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for overstanding.